Where in Almaty can you look at plants collected from all over the world? How do you manage to grow the red list species? What is an insect hotel and who lives in it? What kind of tropical guests can you come across in the botanical garden? All this in a new episode of Welcome to Kazakhstan Project.
The
Botanical Garden of Almaty is almost 90 years old. They were years of prosperity and years of decline. But now, perhaps, the garden is experiencing its best times. How has this piece of paradise changed after the reconstruction and how it can surprise tourists and city residents? We will find out in this episode. This is Welcome to Kazakhstan Project. My name is Zakirjan Mamlutov. Let's broaden our horizons. Back in 1932, a place for the future botanical garden was chosen a few kilometers from the city. Then no one imagined that over time this territory would become a place of recreation for the townspeople. They saw exclusively scientific value in the arboretum, considered it as an experimental station for cultivation and studying plants from all over the world. The Botanical Garden was founded in 1932. Next year, our garden will be 90 years old. The territory occupies 103 hectares, located in the foothills of Ile Alatau, a very picturesque, beautiful place. But if we talk about the Botanical Garden, then, when it was only founded, there were bare steppes and few trees grew here and there. And now, thanks to the efforts of many scientists, all these trees have been grown with love of every scientist who worked here. Each scientist has contributed his work to the development of the Botanical Garden. Local resident of the Botanical Garden, a squirrel. Hello! I brought you some sunflower seeds. Oh, she's got far up. Apparently, she's not hungry. I'll leave the seeds here. When you want, go down and eat. One of the first locations that meets visitors to the garden is the Japanese corner. The decoration mainly refers to Japan: stone lanterns, arched bridges, summer houses in Oriental style, pergolas. A great place for reflection and contemplation. This Japanese garden is unique in that it is very popular with newlyweds. There are a lot of photo sessions here. A very beautiful corner which all the residents of our city and guests are willing to see. There are a lot of beautiful plants such as Japanese maple, sumac, niwaki. These balls here are called niwaki. Again, there is a bridge on which the newlyweds stand, take pictures, do photo sessions. Here they are, a wedding procession. We have just talked about the newlyweds and they're right here. Guys, congratulations! We wish you happiness, good luck and long life. Welcome to Kazakhstan! It was especially difficult for the park in the first years after Kazakhstan gained independence. Funding dropped significantly, the garden was slowly overgrowing, the buildings were dilapidating. They had to survive by selling seedlings. Fortunately, in 2006, the park was given a special status that protected it from encroachments. But a full-fledged reconstruction had to wait for several more years. Only in 2020, thanks to patrons of arts, the renovated Botanical Garden opened its gates to visitors. The changes were tremendous. 174,000 new plants were planted in the park. The irrigation and watering system was restored. New entrance pavilions were erected. A southern parterre with 2 ponds and a grass field was created on the site of the wasteland. We are now in the most important part of the botanical garden. Yes, almost so. Nursery garden. Nursery garden, you're right. These are kids who after some time will move to the main part of the botanical garden. Yes, they will be transferred to our botanical garden and other botanical gardens. Countrywide. That is, all that we have here we give to other places. Over there we have, I can say, plants from the red list.
Вот помогу сказать, это краснокнижные растения есть.
So you grow the red list plants yourself? Well, we need to save them somehow. Do you understand? You need to save it somehow. We take some seeds and grow them. And here is Aflatunium. Unique? Yes, unique. It grows in the Kyrgyz Alatau, and it blooms beautifully with such pink flowers. You can use it, so to speak, in decorative landscaping.
Цветет красиво. Такими розовыми цветочками можно использовать ее, так сказать, в декоративном озеленении.
Once in the botanical garden, you could only admire plants. From the fauna, there were wild birds that flew into the garden paradise. They say that there were foxes, but after the reconstruction, Japanese carps were bred in the ponds. If you look closely, it's not difficult to find snails among the floating water lilies, to hear the croaking of frogs. The care and attention paid off. The garden came to life.
Отель для насекомых.
Hotel for insects, a structure built for the smallest inhabitants of the botanical garden. True, a strange heap of branches, planks and stones. But bees, spiders, cockroaches and other insects really like it here. Most importantly, everything is free and included. Unfortunately, now you will not see any of the inhabitants of this hotel. The hibernation season has begun.
Интересная локация.
Interesting location. The most important thing is man-made. The material for creation is a pear tree, a favorite place for photo shots. But when the fruits appear here, it will be one of the most delicious places in the botanical garden. The heart of the botanical garden is its greenhouse. It's hot and humid inside. These are the conditions needed for tropical plants: palms, bamboo and cacti. Seeds of exotic species were brought here from all over the world. They say that local squirrels have become habitual visitors to the greenhouse. They are very attracted by the fruits of some local trees, namely nuts. Fortunately, the coin can be thrown into the pool with water lilies, because you will definitely want to come back here.
Мы с вами находимся в центре ботанического сада. Это оранжерейный комплекс. Данный оранжерейный комплекс построен в 1969 году, но коллекция стала...
We are in the center of the botanical garden. This is a greenhouse complex. This greenhouse complex was built in 1969, but the collection began to form back in 1932. The area of this greenhouse is 1,025 square meters. The highest point is 23 meters. The central part, where we are located, is the Palmarium. The collection of palms includes a lot of varieties, but the most valuable that we have is the Washingtonia palm, which is considered endemic to the United States. Here we have a palm tree sacred to all Muslims. This is a date palm. These palms are over 70 years old today. The tallest plants that are in Palmarium are ficuses, rubbery ficus and Benjamin's ficus. Today they reach more than 20 meters in height. We have a bamboo grove here. It is represented by 3 bamboo species.
Каучуконосный фикус, фикус Бенджамина. Они достигают на сегодняшний день более 20 метров высоты. Здесь есть у нас бамбуковая роща. Она представляет 3 вида.
A distinctive feature of the garden is its alleys. The trees were planted here not one by one, but in such a way as to form a real picturesque corridor of same species. There are maple and linden alleys here. You can also find pine and birch plantings. Many fruit crops also grow in the garden. Plums, pears, apple trees. There is even sakura.
Еще одно уникальное растение ботанического сада.
Another unique plant in the botanical garden is the Babylonian willow. It is over 95 years old, and this is already an achievement. As a rule, in urban conditions, such trees live no more than 50 years. It's all about the comfortable atmosphere and proper care. However, all these years, the botanical garden has not ceased to fulfill an important scientific function. A number of laboratories operate on its territory. One of dendrology and mycology, geobotany and flora of high plants, another of seed production and tropical plants laboratory. Herbariums and warehouses of unique seeds are regularly replenished. Remember that once you find yourself in the Almaty Botanical Garden, you find yourself in a real temple of nature.
Это место уникально тем, что здесь произрастают растения, занесенные в Красную книгу, редкие.
This place is unique in that it is home to plants listed in the Red List, rare, disappearing relics and endemics. Experimental research is carried out here on their introduction, that is, attracting them to culture and how they can exist in a closed cultural ecosystem in order to preserve them. It is possible to increase their population and culture and then return to nature if there is a threat of their extinction in their habitats.
Популяцию в культуре и потом вернуть в природу, если существует угроза их исчезновения в местах обитания.
In addition to its recreational value, the Almaty Garden has also historical value. On its territory, the remains of an ancient Saka burial mound dated to the Iron Age were discovered.
Этот курган как раз-таки относится к той же эпохе, что и Золотой человек.
This mound belongs to the same era as the Golden Man. Absolutely, you are right. It was just the heyday when there was a very large settlement here on the territory between Ulken and Keshe-Almaty rivers. And all these remains, graves, mounds confirm this. And this dates somewhere in the 6th or 3rd century BC.
Реконструкция ботанического...
Reconstruction of the botanical garden is a gift not only to residents of Almaty, but also to numerous tourists. No matter from which side you enter this green paradise, you will leave it rested, inspired, and full of rich impressions. And if you want to further expand your horizons, subscribe to the Kazakh TV YouTube channel. Welcome to Kazakhstan.